The Adaptive EMA. Created by Perry Kaufman, the Adaptive EMA is a moving-based indicator. It is essentially an exponential moving average with a dynamic smoothing coefficient, which adapts to the relative position of the closing price in a high-low range. The closer the closing price is to either limit, the greater weight the bar readings will have. Alright, so I'll explain the high-low range in a second, but this actually isn't a moving average, but calculating adaptively using an efficiency ratio. When the price is choppy or whipsawing, the indicator will deviate further from the line to prevent false positives. Alright, let's look at the charts. So on the left we have United Maritime, and on the right we have Vertical Aerospace. So on the left, United Maritime fell when they were trying to gain some capital for general corporate purposes, which usually means that the corporate is in some financial trouble, and that led to the stock price lowering. Well, the stock price increased 220% when investors found out that they were buying 4 oil tanker vessels. On the right we have Vertical Aerospace. It is up due to the announcement that American Airlines will be purchasing 50 electric planes. Vertical Aerospace is developing electric planes capable of taking 4 passengers on trips for at least 100 miles. Now, let's take a look at the Vertical Aerospace. So as you can see here, it traded much higher volume than its daily average, and something that I would recommend is to look at a higher time frame. So we're on the 50-50 and we're comparing it to the exponential moving average of the 50 length. As you can see here, gives you a slightly better entry point and a slightly better exit point for a clearer picture. I would be using other indicators alongside with this and not just solely relying on this. But yeah, as you can see, it clearly shows a trend and it's a much faster indicator. The EMA is slightly lagging, so if you were to enter or exit, mainly exit right here and exit right here, you'd be exiting later than the adaptive moving average. Yeah, this would be hard because the volume just slows down, so again, I'd be looking at other indicators to see what's happening. Now, another stock would be the United Maritime. It started trading much higher at the opening of the market, and as you can tell, it keeps going up. As you can see, the EMA is slightly lagging, so depending on when your exit position would be decided, can be changed depending on which indicator you use. That also depends on your trading strategy. Something else we can look at is we're using the 50, which I recommend. We could also try the 20. I'll show you the difference really quick. And it's a little harder to see because we have a little less data, but for this it actually gives us a better exit point. And let's see, right, yeah, this would be hard to read. I need another indicator to read this. Looking at the opening with the 20 would be a much better indicator for your exit position. Now we can look at the Vertical Aerospace on the 2020 also, and this will give us different results. So depending on your trading strategy, we can be looking at the 20 or the 50. I do not recommend anything under the 20. It's too fast and will give you false positives. So for this stock in particular, you wouldn't benefit too much from the 20. I'd say you'd actually benefit more if you change this to the 50 and the 50. So this is a good, quick showing of how the time differences can affect your entry and exit, and depending on your trading strategy. Looking at your trading strategy, it's going to be up to you to decide. I can't really tell you that, but what I can tell you is I would be using another indicator alongside with this. Now let's look at the code. This is the Adaptive EMA formula that Thinkorswim is using. So price, we have length defined, and here's a high-low length as you can see here. And I tried to split this up so we have a multiplier of 1, but what multiplier 2 is doing is either giving us a negative or positive value. So we're taking the close minus the lowest low, and we're looking 10 bars back, and we're taking the highest high, and we're looking 10 bars back, and then we're minusing it by the close, and we're dividing this by 10 and 11. So we're taking the highest high, and we're looking 10 bars back from the high low length here, 10. which is defined, and the lowest low minus 10 from the high-low length, and we're dividing these two. And the absolute value, if you don't know, you can type in absolute. This is the software I sell on my website if you want to check it out, link in the description. For the absolute value, return a argument that is positive or negative. It's either positive or negative, and then using this we will bring it down to here. Now for the compound value, we are using recursion, and I haven't done recursion. I actually haven't needed to code recursion in Thinkorswim. Right here is an example. So this is the Fibonacci sequence, and this is how Thinkorswim is calculating it. I'm not familiar with how to write recursion in Thinkorswim for the Fibonacci sequence. This is how you would calculate it. So we actually don't need this, actually don't need this, and we actually don't need this. So this is the code, and that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, just please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.